Hello everyone, now I'm going to show you how to make a game called Match 3, which is like similar to Candy Crush but was an old game like during the 90s, wherein people had to match up three tiles of the same color in a row or in a column continuously. These are the constants, and then there is love.load, which will load the game. As usual, we will write requirements, except we will have a background X for the screen rolling. Then there is the gstate machine colon change start. There will be a music loop, this screen setup, the love.update, which will update the timer. So here we are using the knife library, which is right here. So knife library is available in GitHub. You can download the library if you want to download it from GitHub itself. And then there is love.keyboard was pressed. In love.update, the background will keep rotating. Background x is equal to background x minus background underscore scroll speed up star up dt. So if you go here, the background speed is 80, so it gets multiplied by 80 and the delta time, that each second. Then if background x is lesser than or equal to minus 1024, which is the end of the window width, it will return to 0. And then if anything happens, like if I hit enter to start the game, then it'll update the game state machine. Then in love.draw, it will draw the it will set the background color to pure white, and it draws the background and the rolling and its a rolling motion. Then function generate board, which is used which it's a really important for the game, wherein it is a nested loop, wherein two for loops, wherein we write here y is equal to 1, which is the initialization value, to 8. So if you don't write anything after the comma, then love will by default consider the increment value as 1. So it'll be table dot insert tiles comma an empty value. And then for x is equal to 1 comma 8, it will do table dot insert the y-axis of the tiles, and x is equal to y x minus 1 star 32, y is equal to y minus 1 star 32, grid x is equal to y, grid y is equal to y. Then the style is equal to mat.random hashtag tile quads, which will randomly draw the tiles and will return tiles itself. Then in draw board, offset x, offset y, there will be a nested loop. In love.graphics.draw, we'll draw the tile sprite, tile quads, and then if highlighted tile, then it will highlight the tile by drawing a red color border, a white border, and after selecting it will change to the red color. And then it'll return the and then it'll start perform these functions. So after this, we'll go to board.lua. So here we'll initialize x comma y, which is the x which will take two parameters x and y. And then here in initialize tiles, self.tiles is equal to an empty table. For tile y is equal to 1 comma 8, table.insert self.tiles comma an empty value. So just like in the generate board, it was here the table.insert Here it is table.insert self.tiles and the empty table. Then a while self colon calculate matches, which will be a while loop which will continuously happen during the runtime of the game. If there is if it'll keep checking if there is a calculated match, then it will initialize the tiles. And then there is board colon calculate matches, which has an empty table and the match number is 1. Then color to match is equal to self dot tiles of y of 1 dot color. So here in tiles dot lua, which I'll later on tell you, then for x is equal to 2 comma 8, if self dot tiles of y of x dot color is equal to color to match is match num is equal to match num plus 1. Then else if match num is greater than or equal to 3, local match is equal to an empty table. If match num is equal to 4, for x2 is equal to 1 comma 8, do table dot insert. So in love it doesn't depend on indentation, so you can just write all of your code in one line, but we prefer indentation. If it is a small subpart, then we can just write it in one line. So then we have so these are all for the matches, and then we have board remove matches, which will which will take a for nested for loop for k comma match in pairs self dot matches, for k comma tile in pairs match self dot tiles of tile dot grid y of tile dot grid x is equal to nil, self dot matches is equal to nil. And then in self dot in function board colon get falling tiles, it will tween local tweens is equal to 0, like it will perform an animation that will make the tiles fall down and not happen all of a sudden. For x is equal to 1 comma 8, local space is equal to false, local space y is equal to 0, local y is equal to 8, while y is greater than or equal to 1, do if it is equal to if it is equal to 1. If it is lesser than 1, then the loop will stop. Local tile is equal to self dot tiles y of x, if space if there is if the current tile is not a space, bring this it will bring it down to the lowest space. So you can just imagine if there is a tile if there is a 64 tiles in a grid, and the suppose the 8th tile does not have the 8th gap, 8th square which should have a tile is not there but a space, then if then it will bring the tiles down to the lowest space. Then there is board colon render, and then there is tile.lua. So tile colon initialize will take 4 parameters: color and variety. Function tile colon render love.graphics dot set color will set the color and then love.graphics dot draw game textures, tiles comma game frame style frame, self dot color self dot variety comma self dot x plus 2, which will draw the tiles. And then there is the state machine. Here it is nothing much but same. So then there's dependencies which requires, so my knife library is quite different precedents. I have downloaded the full library from GitHub, but not like, if you want you can just take this library and delete the take this library, move it to the library, and just delete this library, so that you can just use this. Then there is the states. So if I go to begin game state, here it will include the base state, then it will enter. So here timer dot tween 1 comma colon function finish function, which will finish the animation. And then there is game over state, and then there is play state. Then there is, so timer dot every is like every second it will be happen, an animation will be happening, like the so time dot timer dot every means like it doesn't take I have any animation right here, but the timer will keep decreasing. Then here there is if love dot keyboard dot was pressed up, escaped, then it'll quit the game. If timer is lesser than or equal to 0, timer dot clear, and it's like game over. And then we enter the game over state. And then if the score is greater than or equal to score goal, it will be 1250 at the level 1, then the score will increase. And then there is the so yeah, this is just the same thing. And here we have the concatenation for the details. And then finally we have util.lua. So this is util is equal to class generate tile quads, local tiles is equal to an empty table, x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, local counter is equal to 1, for row is equal to 1 comma 9, do for I is equal to 1 comma 2, do tiles counter is equal to an empty table. So if you see in the in the background.png, I mean sorry, the match3.png, you can see that this is a texture which is even found in the browser or in OpenGameArt. It has like six rows of I mean yeah, 6 rows of each color, and here it is a different column. So if you take this column, it has six variants. And then there is, if I go to util.lua again, here you can see we return the tiles. So this is just to print the table value, uh, like it is a really important function for printing out the characters in the table. So I'll post the code in GitHub. You can download it from there if you want, and later on I'll explain how to make Legend of Zelda using Love with Lua. So thank you.